Hello, it's Marek. Welcome to MDrives and welcome to another car review. Today I'm going to be reviewing this massive BMW X5 40D XDrive. Mouthful. It's a massive car, especially to me, someone who got used to driving 1 Series, 2 Series. Yeah, it looks huge and it feels huge. But to be honest, I have to say, I like the look of this thing. Some people say it's not the prettiest car. I actually quite like the styling. I think for an SUV, this car looks quite aggressive. Buried in there is the high output version of the 3-liter engine, 335 horsepower and 700 Newton meters. The other thing which is massive in this car is the boot. Let's have a look. So as you can see, BMW split the tailgate into two, as they usually do in their X cars. And you can open this one right here. Unfortunately, this one is a manual. You can also get an automatic one. However, what it has is this clever button here. And if you press it, it will actually lower the suspension. So apart from this 550 litre square boxy boot, you also have all that space. So yes, plenty of space for everything here. So now let's check how much space would I have behind myself as a driver. So as you can see, I'm now in the car. This seat is set to the lowest position possible and it's quite far to the back. And as you can see, I'm 6'2" and I can still sit here comfortably, not touching this seat at all. The floor is almost flat. It only raises by 2, maybe 3 inches, so it's almost flat. So it offers really good space here. As you can see, the interior looks really nice, a typical BMW of the newest series.
The main screen is touchscreen, however, BMW decided to leave all the keys as well, so you don't have to touch the screen if you don't want to. You can still use your iDrive in a mid-console, which works perfectly fine, so you can avoid leaving fingerprints on your big screen. Everything is laid out clearly and it's really intuitive. You also get really decent storage in your armrest. The digital dash is a typical screen which you can find in all new BMWs. I have to say, in this car it just works perfectly. The front seats are really comfortable. I think these are probably the most comfortable BMW seats I've ever sat in.
The only thing I really hate in this car is that when you step out from the car, it's really difficult not to make your trousers dirty. It's so wide and so high, it's very difficult to actually step over it. So I think it's time to start the engine and see what this beast can do on the road.
9:95 p.m. subject to local availability.
So as you can see, you've got electric steering, you've got electric seats. However, this one doesn't have lumbar support, which is weird in this class of a car. I think this is a separate option you need to tick on the configurator, but yeah, it is surprising that you don't get it with a car which costs 60-70 grand. So I'm going to start in comfort mode. And as I'm on a rough terrain, I'm going to raise the suspension. It is absolutely incredible how comfortable I feel driving on this rough terrain. So we're in a highest setting now and the car feels really plush. Actually, from the driver's seat, even at the lowest setting of the seat, I feel like I'm actually sitting on a car and not really in a car. And that's purely because the car is so high as well. It might not be as high as Range Rovers, but it is very high to me. It feels very comfortable. It feels very quiet, very refined. The materials of the dash are amazing. Everything feels soft. There's no hard plastics. It is also very quiet. You don't get any wind noise in this car. I've been on motorway in this car this morning, and actually apart from the noise from the tires, which are quite wide, there is not much of sound getting in. So driving 40 miles per hour on this rough surface gives us a little bit of road noise, but not much of a wind noise. Oh, what's happening here? Yes, overtaking, it's not a problem for this car. 700 Newton meters of torque can launch this car from 0 to 60 in 5.5 seconds. That is rapid, and because of the four-wheel drive, it can do that in any conditions. So this is not something I got used to, because my car just spins the rear wheels. But that's enough about how comfortable or quiet is this car, because the main question I wanted to ask today is this tank fun to drive? So let's try it now. I'm still in comfort, and the steering wheel actually doesn't give me any feedback. It's there, I can turn it, it turns the car, it feels quite accurate. Even small inputs do something, but unfortunately it's not a sport car precision or sport car feel, but obviously you can't get everything. So I'm going to switch to Sport Plus now. I'm going to go to manual mode so I can start changing gears and see what this car can do. So I'm at 3000 RPMs now, and I absolutely don't hear the engine. Well, maybe a little bit, but it's too quiet to actually rely on that to provide you with feedback on where you are in a rev range. Obviously in this type of car it can be an advantage, because basically it's quiet, and that's what most people want from this type of the car. So when you get to the higher revs, you start to hear the engine. The car speeds up really fast, and that's obviously due to that amazing torque. It has a maximum power around 4,500 RPMs, and the maximum torque of 700 Newton meters around 1750 RPMs, which is really low. Surprisingly, this car feels so stable in the corners. It really hides its weight. It pulls really nicely. I'm not sure if it feels 5.5 seconds to 60, to be honest, but it definitely feels punchy, especially considering the weight of this car. I think it's about 2,175 kilograms, which is a lot. It definitely hides its weight. I can't really tell that this car weighs so much. We are on quite narrow road, and despite the size of this car, I don't feel like it's overly massive on the road. When I'm driving in the traffic, etc., I can tell where the car ends and where the sides are, and it shrinks around you for this type of car. And I think it's probably due to the visibility, because visibility in this car, maybe apart from the rear view, it's brilliant. Let's try to stop here and launch it. So I said it doesn't feel amazingly fast, but actually, if you consider the fact that this car weighs so much, well, it is actually quite brisk. What I have to say though is it's better to leave this gearbox in its automatic setting. I don't know why, but operating the flappy paddles doesn't give me any more excitement, and I think it's just because it's a diesel. So I think it's better to leave the car to do its thing and decide which gear you should be in and where the best torque is available. So this is extremely uneven road. I've been on this road in quite a few cars, and I never been in a car which deals with this uneven road so well. On the flip side, it feels so stable in the corners. It's just amazing actually that the car like this can behave like this on this sort of road. Now we are getting to one of my favorite sections on this road, so we'll see how it deals with the corners. It's almost mind-bending to see how this car behaves in the corners. It feels like almost like BMW 340i, which I tested. The chassis is just absolutely amazing. You would think that the suspension in such a heavy car will be more bouncy and moving a lot, but no. It actually is extremely stable in the corners, and I really don't feel like there is lots of lean in the corners, and that's probably due to the air suspension and the clever electronics in this car, which probably tells the suspension what to do in the corner. I'm not sure if it's that clever, but it must be clever because it feels bloody amazing. On the flip side, you can go to Eco Pro, and this car delivers really good economy as well. I couldn't believe driving it today on a motorway that it actually delivers more MPG than my M2. I didn't have a problem to do around 40 MPG when I was doing around 70 on a motorway, so well done. Yep. Overtaking, it's not a problem. 60 in a few seconds. Yeah, if you need to overtake, this car delivers that with ease. So when you're in a Sport Plus and you're starting from the first gear, you can actually hear the engine. You can actually hear the engine in the first and second gear. And once you get to the third one and further than that, then you can't really hear it. But the sound of the engine itself, it's quite nice. It's obviously a 3-liter unit. It's a diesel, but it's a 3-liter unit, 6 cylinders, so it actually sounds quite nice. So let's summarize this car now. The main question was, can this car be fun on the road? And the answer is yes. For what it is, I think it really can be. It felt so much smaller and lighter in the corners. It really delivers amazing grip. It holds the road. It doesn't lean a lot. Obviously you can lift the suspension and then it feels a bit more plush and really like you feel like you're driving on a cloud. But well, if you want a sporty emotions from this car, yes, it can deliver it. It's punchy, it feels great on the road. So despite the size of this thing and the position where you're sitting, because you're quite high off the ground, it really can deliver a sporty feel. So definitely BMW managed to integrate that somehow into this body. So well done for that, BMW. Other than that, it is an amazing car for a family. I mean, you can easily fit in 5 adults in here. You can put a lot of stuff into the boot. So yeah, it's a perfect family car. It also delivers quite good economy, so it won't cost you an arm and leg to get to your destination. So I think it is a perfect family car which can deliver some fun when you want it. But really, majority of the time you want to be in comfort with your quiet engine, with your air suspension offering you a maximum comfort, and you can just enjoy the drive. I hope you enjoyed this review. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Please remember, like and subscribe, and I'll see you shortly in the next video. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye. Do widzenia.